Hey, what's up, YouTube? In this video, I'll be sharing with you some of the SEO tools that I use, some SEO extensions that I personally used. And I think the trouble right now with a lot of SEOs, the tools that they use when they are on their SEO campaigns, it's because there's so many tools out there, right? And because there's so many different extensions that you can use for multiple different purposes, I find a lot of people getting lost in that whole, spectrum of new tools. There's a new tool coming out and there's new features and stuff like that. So I want to give you the SEO extensions that I use. Now, I differentiate between SEO extensions and SEO tools. So in this video, I'll just be sharing with you the SEO extensions that I personally use to save time when I'm doing SEO for my clients or for myself. And what I'll give you, it's what they do. Firstly, what they do, why are they good, and also some of the things that I dislike about each tool. Now, I think there is, let me see, there is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 extensions that I use, not all the time, not all at once, but most of them are free. There's only one paid extension that, if you want to use it, you got to pay for it. So the first tool that you should get, it's the Moz bar. I love this Moz bar, and I'll tell you why, right? So all you have to do is just go to Moz bar, and then I think this is the yeah. So download the SEO Chrome bar. So all you have to do is just Google Moz bar Chrome plugin, right? And then just download it, and if you can, just get a free account. Install a free account, and you're good to go. Now I'll tell you what it does, right? So what it does is, if you go to just Google, and then you just key in like any random, SEO, right? And what it does is, it saves you a lot of time by giving you some of the most important aspects when it comes to on-page stuff. So if you check in, I think you have to log in for this, but once you have logged in, you can see that, what the hell is wrong with my hair today? But anyway, you can see, first of all, the domain authority. Now, I don't believe in, looking at all these numbers by all these tools. And what I like to do is I like to get an aggregate and a sense of how well the website is doing. So for example, if this Moz bar shows me that it has a 90 domain rating, and what I can do is I will do a cross check with some other tools like Ahrefs, and kind of see whether does Ahrefs shows me the same kind of digits that Moz bar is showing me, and this gives me the conclusion that, hey, yeah, maybe this domain, which in this case it's authoritative, right? So I don't just take what the tools give me at face value, because some of these tools, some of the time they screw up, right? They give me some values which it doesn't make sense. So what the Moz bar does is it gives you a domain authority out of 100. So you can straight away tell how authoritative this domain is. So in this case, it's 90, right? So what you can do is you can click, and then you can kind of look at the page authority and the domain authority. And one thing I like to look at is the spam score, whether do they have any spam score. Now, some websites, they have a high amount of spam score. So this will give you a percentage. So if they don't show you, some of the time they don't show you, some of the time they show you. And what you want to kind of notice is the percentage of the spam score, right? So assuming that this has a spam score of say 60+% or close to 80%, right? I'll be a bit wary of, this domain, because there's a reason why this spam score is, so high, right? But I will not take it at face value. I will do some research on my own. Okay. Now, one thing that it does is, if you can take a look at the page analysis here, this is what I like to use the most, right? Because when I'm checking for on-page stuff, okay, I like to look at the things that matter when it comes to on-page. So the first thing that matters is the URL, right? So I want to look at whether is the keyword in the URL, especially when I'm doing sales prospecting. What I like to do is I like to find a keyword. I like to go to a website and I like to take a look at the URL first. So in this case, for example, if I determine the keyword as what is SEO, right? If I take a look at your URL over here, it shows that the keyword is in the URL. Okay, and the second factor that I look at, it's page title. Okay, so I will look at the keywords, whether are these keywords inside the page title. Okay, and if it does, awesome. If it doesn't, then I can flag it out and I can reach out to the website or the business that and tell them, hey, your keyword is not in your page title, right? Or your page title is not optimized. And then the third thing I like to look at is the meta description. Is the meta description optimized for click-through rates? Is the keyword or a variation of the keyword inside the meta description? And I like to look at the meta keywords. And meta keywords, as of now, they don't serve any purpose. Okay, at least based on my understanding, they don't serve any purpose. So if a website has meta keywords, okay, if I find a website that has meta keywords, I'll reach out to them and tell them that, hey, you can remove these meta keywords because what you're trying to do is by having meta keywords, it serves no purpose. And what competitors can do is they can go onto your website, and if you're just giving them answers to what your keywords are. So if you have meta keywords over here, so if I'm a competitor, I can just go onto your page and I can just look at the meta keywords and I know exactly what keywords you're ranking for, right? What keywords you're targeting. So if they have that, I'll let them know, I'll flag it out. And also the H1 tag. I'll look for multiple H1 tags, whether is their H1 tag optimized, whether do they have multiple H1 tags, and most of the time, whether are their H1 tags missing. Okay, and then the rest is not that important. Okay, the H2 tags not that important. Bold, strong. I don't look at all these very much. Alt tags, I don't look at it that much as well, because usually what I look at is the most important factors when it comes to on page. So that is what Moz does. Okay, and usually there's a lot of other things that this Moz bar can do, but the reason why I use this is basically just to check for their on page stuff. Okay, there's a lot of different elements that you can look at, like the canonical, the page load time, the country, IP address, link matrix, markup, and HTTP status. But I don't look at all of this. Okay, what you need, what you can use Moz with is just basically these factors over here, right? Just these columns over here. Okay, and that is good enough, because if you spend too much time onto like these small little details, which you can and which you should, but you always want to try and optimize the things that will kind of move the needle first. You want to go after the things that will help with increasing the organic traffic or increasing the performance of this particular page first, right? And after you've done with all this, then maybe you can take a look at all the other stuff like the H2 tags, the alt tags, and stuff like that. Okay, so that is for Moz bar. Now, one thing I do not like about this, I've realized that some of the times when I'm using Moz bar, okay, I noticed some of the times the page titles, for example, and the H1 text, they don't give me the same, how should I put this? Whatever that Moz bar crawls is not the same as what's happening on the page. So for example, now this page shows page title, right? And the page title shows what is SEO, search engine optimization. And you can just look over here, this is the page title, so it matches, right? But sometimes what I've noticed is this doesn't match. That means Moz bar is not pulling the correct data from the page. So that's one thing I've noticed. And sometimes the meta description reads as this, or the H1 text reads as this, but it's not the same data that is on the website itself. Okay, if you do a view page source and you do a page title, can find it over here. Okay, so that's two. So for example, a H1 tag, right? So this H1 tag is what is SEO, search engine optimization. Now this gives you the best sort of accurate data, right? Because it's happening on the page. Now, like I mentioned earlier, some tools they are tools, and when it comes to tools, sometimes they will be wrong. So what you want to do is always double check. It's a good habit to double check. But yeah, that's one thing I noticed with Mossbar. So it's absolutely free. Just go ahead and download it and get a free account, and you're good to go. I mean, you don't even have to have a free account to use this page analysis check. Okay, so that's one thing, one of the Chrome extensions that I personally used. Now, secondly, it's this called the automatic backlink checker. Okay, I believe, let me see, automatic backlink checker. I believe is this one over here. I think, yes. So this is the one, automatic backlink checker. Now what this does, it gives you a quick look about, so let me go back to the page over here. So what this does, it straight away shows you. So for example, if you are doing link building, or you are researching somebody else website, or say you're reaching out for a guest post opportunity, or you're researching your competitors backlinks, where they are getting them from, and you are sort of analyzing whether this page or this directory, for example, it's allowing do follows or no follow links, right? So if you know do follow links are the ones with more link juice, or if you just want to find out whether this link is a do follow or a no follow link. So the long way is for you to right click and inspect, right? Okay, let me just move me out of the way. And you can see over here, this doesn't have a no follow link. So in this case, it's a do follow link, right? Yep, so this is a do follow link, right? So just right click, inspect. So this is the longer approach. Now, one thing I like about this, it's once you have it, all you have to do is just click, activate it. Okay, and okay, so it's showing me that this is a no follow link. Let me see. Yeah, I have no idea why this is showing me no follow. But again, some of these tools, okay, let me just go to my own website. And okay, and one thing I like about these tools is if you don't have to use it, you can just straight away off it, like turn it off. So for example, let me see. Okay, so for example, if you right click onto a link and you want to check whether if it's a do follow or a no follow link, you can see it over here, right? So in this case, this is a no opener, no referral. So this is a do follow link, right? And this is also, I believe, a do follow link, right? So this is a longer approach. No referral, no opener. So this is a do follow link. Now, what this tool does, it's if you just click it on, anything that reflects as a blue color, right? It's a do follow link. Okay, anything that is red in color. So this shows you all the links, and it highlights to you. It brings your attention to the highlighted links. So anything with blue, it's do follow links, and anything with red in color. So for example, this is a red in color. These are usually okay. So I guess anything that is internal linking. So because this is my internal link, so anything that is internal linking, it's going to be shown as a red color as well. But this shows you, do I have a no follow link to other page? It looks like I don't. Okay, look, these are all do follow links. And if it's a no follow, or is this, apparently this is a internal link as well. So anything that is internal linking or anything that is a no follow link, it will be highlighted as red. And this saves you the time of right clicking and inspecting every single one of them. Okay, and yeah, so, and the moment you're done researching, you can just off it. Now that is what this tool does, and that is what I use the tool for. Now, one thing I do not like about this tool, it's sometimes it shows you the wrong, again with tools, right? They show you incorrect data. So some of the times, like like for example, this might be a no follow link, but this shows me as blue, for example. Okay, and when I right click and inspect, sometimes it shows me no follow, like this is a no follow link. Now, this might be because the owner of the site just updated it and removed the link or changed the link from a do follow to a no follow or vice versa. But this happens sometimes, not all the times. This tool is pretty accurate, and just sometimes it happens. Okay, so that's one thing that I have issues, the issues with this particular tool. Now the next tool, it's a index, and so this is called SEE Robots in Chrome extension. I believe this is the, nope, this is the one. Okay, SEE Robots. Did they remove? Wait, did they remove it? Huh. This should work. Yeah, this should work. I have no idea why this is not. Yeah, so this is the one. C robots. Yeah, C robots. And I have no idea why it's not showing up on Chrome. Maybe they are updating their extensions or something like that. But ideally, this is the one that you go for. Yeah, I have no idea why this is not showing up, but ideally, this is the one that you wanna go after, right? So I think you can get it here. Not so sure. And I want to really find it for you guys. So let me just take a look. Is it this one? This is Firefox. Link parser. I don't think this is the one. C robots. I have no idea why. I mean, this is how I've got the extension, but yeah, I don't want to waste too much time. But you can find this on the net. I'm not sure why this is not showing up right now. But essentially what this tool, okay, let me explain to you what this tool does, right? So if you go to a page, let's say, okay, let me go to this page. So if you go to a page, okay, and I accept, and you find, you want to look for a, you want to know whether this page is a no index or a index page, or whether this is a no follow or a do follow page, right? So all you have to do, it's the longer way, it's for you to right click, view page source, and you want to kind of see whether is there a no index tag. So in this case, there's no index tag, meaning to say this page is being indexed by Google. Okay, and this is a longer way for you to check. Now, if you find a page that is no index, let me see their privacy policy or their subscribe page. Subscribe pages generally are no indexed. If they have good SEO done. In this case, not really. Okay, let me just go back to my site, and let me just check this out. Okay, okay, let me just check it here. So for example, terms of services page usually are no index. So the longer way for you to check is just go view page source and type in no index, right? So if you see a no index page, no index tag here, it means to say this page is not being indexed, and whichever links over here is not going to mean is going to be useless, because all these links will be this page is not indexed on Google in the first place, right? So one of the ways for you to check it's via here, and the other way it's through this plugin that I have over here. Okay, so this shows you whenever you land on a page, right? This shows you whether this has a robots.txt, whether a no index tag or an index tag is on the page. So for example, this is a no index tag. Instead of me right clicking and viewing their page source, look, this shows me that this is a no index and a follow page. And this shows me that this is a index page and a follow page. So instead of me right clicking and going in to see the status, this plugin over here just shows me directly, right? So it saves me a bit of time. So every single time you save a bit of time, a bit here and there, you're going to save a lot of time, right? So one thing that I don't like about this page, not about this page. Well, I like my page, but one thing that I don't like about this tool, it's again, sometimes it shows me different, how would I put this, different inaccurate data from this tool, right? But I would say almost 10 out of 10 times, this tool is 9.99%, 9.9 times it's accurate, right? So this is the Zero C robots, okay? Now the next tool, it's, let me see, I'm gonna skip all this because these are not SEO tools, SEO extensions at least. So the next one is Keyword Surfer. Okay, so Keyword Surfer, what it does is, let me just go have a sip of coffee. Okay, so what this does, okay, Keyword Surfer, it's if you go to Google, okay, and say, for example, I'm giving you all these free tools first, free SEO extension first, before I bring on the paid version, which is Ahrefs bar. Okay, now what this tool does is, if you want to have a rough gauge of what's the search volume of a particular keyword, and you kind of want to know the demand for that keyword, just get Keyword Surfer. And what this does is, for example, let me see, I don't know, USA news, for example, right? And you kind of want to look at the search volume. Okay, there used to be a plugin called Keywords Anywhere, but now it's a paid version. So an alternative to that will be Keyword Surfer. So what you do, it's once you got it installed, okay, again, where you can get it is go to Google, Keyword Surfer, Chrome extension, and I believe this is the one, right? Yep, this is the one. So all you have to do, install it, and I think they just recently updated updated to a 2.0, which is awesome. So once you got it, and then so once you have it, just click it, and then what it does is it reloads the page, and this will show you the amount of estimated search volume, okay, and the CPC, okay, the cost per click. And this is what what Keywords Anywhere used to do, right? So shows you the average search volume, the estimated search volume on a monthly basis, for you to kind of gauge the demand, and also how commercial this keyword is, and also other keyword ideas, right? And also at the same time, the search volume. And this is some very nice charts over here. The amount of words, okay, the amount of words for every page. So you can kind of have a rough benchmark of how many words you need to have on your page if you want to go after this keyword. The traffic, and as well as the keywords. Okay, I don't look at the keywords and the traffic. In fact, I don't look at all this stuff over here. Okay, I only look at this. Okay, just because I want to take a look at the estimated traffic. So this is one thing that I use. Now, one thing that I do not like about, this, it's, well, I don't use this as much because I use Ahrefs, but I think it's a good alternative if you do not have the budget to spend on a SEO tool like Ahrefs, because it's kind of expensive, to be honest. So this is a good alternative for you to straight away see. And again, all these tools are supposed to help you cut down time and reduce time for you to get what you want, right? So in this case, say for example, you are launching a, I don't know, drone camera, right? Drone camera stand. I don't know whether is there a demand. So for example, if you don't know whether is there a demand for it, all you have to do is just pop it in, okay, and it will show you the monthly estimated search volume, right? And this kind of cross-check it with your own understanding, or gives you a better understanding of whether is there a demand in your market. Now, again, do use these tools as an aggregate and as a sort of research, because again, these tools, sometimes they give accurate data, sometimes they are not 100% accurate, that's for sure. So you just want to get an aggregate and a feel of what these tools are telling you and make sense of the data. Always make sense of the data. Okay, so this is what this tool does. Okay, now next, I'm going to move on to vidIQ. Now, vidIQ, vidIQ, okay, vidIQ Chrome extension, yeah, and usually when I don't have, okay, how do I, okay, usually I don't have this on because I only have tools switched on when I need them. So I am going to, okay, I think I need to exit out. Okay, so yeah, so now it's gone. So vidIQ, Chrome, and this is more for video SEO, okay, especially for YouTube SEO. So vidIQ, this is the extension that you want to go for. Again, it's free. I think you might have to sign up for a free account, but again, it's free of charge. So, excuse me. So what you need to do is, once you have this installed, okay, if you go to YouTube and you look at history or any sort of a video, okay, I'm just gonna click onto here and skip this ad. Okay, so what this does is it gives you a basic understanding of what basically the data that is happening for this YouTube video. So it shows you the vidIQ score and a bunch of other stuff. Now, the only thing that I use this for, right? All these metrics are cool to look at, but the only thing that I use this for is the text over here, right? The video text, because this gives me an idea of the kind of text that I want to use for my own video. If I am creating a similar video to it, like this, right? So this gives me a tag, okay? The kind of text that I should be using for my video if the content is similar, okay? So for example, if I have a, I don't know, similar content towards this, I'm going to pick up the video text that I think will be the most relevant, and I'll use them in my video for YouTube. So that is what I use this for. Nothing else. Nothing else. And one thing that I don't like about this is it gives a lot of data, and it's not the more the merrier. It's quite the opposite. The more data that you have, sometimes it confuses what you should be doing. And if you have the time, it's good to look through every single one of these data, but you don't want to get obsessed with all this data, right? Because you just want to pick up the data that you need to use, the data that can help you the most, right? So in this case, for me, it's video text, okay? So that is for vidIQ. And again, what I like about these extensions is if you don't need it, all you have to do is just, click it and, you can sort of hide them. Okay, and the next one is going to be Ahrefs toolbar. Now, this is a paid option. Okay, this is a paid option. You have to have Ahrefs and Ahrefs toolbar Chrome. Okay, you have to have a paid account for this to work. Okay, so free download for Chrome. Yeah, it's free download, but you can't use it unless you're paying for it. So it is free download, right? So once you have an account and you've downloaded the Chrome extension, now what I like about this the most is similarly, you can choose to not use it. Okay, now this is me activating it, and if I do not want to use it, I can just simply click. So it gives me a very clean and clear formatting of my Google, or of my page, of my SERP. right? Because I don't want, can you imagine, look, can you imagine if I have all of this set up, right? How ridiculous would this look, right? This is how your page is gonna look like. Okay, so I'm gonna just reverse everything that I do. Okay, so oh my god, okay, go to Google. Yeah, so once you have this, okay, what this does, it gives you, it has the same function of what Surfer SEO does, right? It gives you it gives you the volume of the search volume of a keyword. So for example, USA, and I don't know, blue book. I have no idea what the hell is this, but it gives you a search volume, okay, on a monthly search volume. Okay, and it gives you the number of clicks and the CPC, the KD, and the global volume. Now, this volume is only for in the US, right? Global volume means, you know, internationally, and the return rate, right? I don't usually look at this. I usually, when I'm doing searches like this, I just want to look at the volume and the cost per click. And basically, that's all I look at. The other stuff like the KD and global volume and clicks, I will check these metrics out only when I'm doing keyword research. So again, this gives me straight away some details that I can look at. Now, what I like about this, it's I like that I can export bulk. I can do bulk export. So for example, this not only shows me that, this shows me how many backlinks this page have, how many search traffic this page have, and also on a domain level, how many backlinks this domain have. And this shows you on a kind of like a um, how would I put this? Kind of like how when you look at a book and a book has a table of contents. So this shows you the table of contents for this particular keyword and the matrix for each website, right? And what I like about this, it's if, for example, I want to do a clearer approach, or if I'm outsourcing, if I am doing research for a bunch of websites for this particular keyword, right? I have the option of exporting everything out. And look, this gives me now my search bar is set to showing me 50 search results. Now from your search bar, you're only going to have 10, right? Before you go on to the next page. So this is what it gives me, and then I can kind of, you know, change or take away the matrix that I do not want. Say for example, if I do not want anything here, I just want to look at the domain rating, the number of referring domains. Okay, not so much about the backlinks, but the number of referring domains this page has, and number of search traffic. Oops. Okay, but the point of this is it gives me a rough idea of how much this traffic, this website has in terms of traffic, and it allows me to do a bulk export. So this is one thing that I like the most, and also it has the same function as what Surfer does. Okay, honestly, I don't even know why I have Surfer on. Why do I have Surfer right now? Because I can just do it with a Ahrefs. But also at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, all these tools are not giving you 100% accurate data, because the 100% accurate data, the most accurate data that you can get is within Google. Say, for example, from your Google Analytics, or even Google Keyword Planner doesn't give you 100% accurate data. So I guess what I like to take a look, it's to kind of make sense of the data. So let me just give you an example. For USA Blue Book, the volume has 9,000. So 9,000 search volume on a monthly basis. If I if I use Surfer and check, okay, look, 14,800. So the previous one was showing me, wait, 14,000, right? Whereas Ahrefs is showing me 9,000. Okay, so this gives me a rough aggregate of, say, a good range will be between the 10,000 mark, right? 10 to 11,000. So at least I know that the amount of people searching for USA Blue Book, it's around 10,000 to around 12 to 13,000, right? So this gives me a rough average because, like I mentioned, all these tools are not 100% accurate. And yeah, so these are the tools that I personally use. Now, remember, the one thing about tools is the more tools you have, the more confused or the more distracted you're going to be. So decide what tools that you want to use and stick to only a few. Okay. Now, even myself, oh yeah, one thing before I continue, right? Nearly forgot to share with you guys. So nearly forgot to share everything about Ahrefs toolbar. So another function that I use now, again, Ahrefs has a bunch of functions over here, but one thing I like to do is I like to use the show on page data over here, and this works similarly with the Moz bar. This shows me the title, the page description, and also the canonical URL, and also the H1s and kind of how each headers are on the page, how is it laid out, right? And the word count. So basically, this gives me a all-in-one, right? But I don't know. I'm still using I'm still using Moz bar first because it gives me a faster approach. I don't know, or maybe I'm just used to this. But what I like to do is I like to cross-check this, right? So for example, if the page title shows this, okay, I also at the same time like to cross-check it with this. And I guess the reason why I like to use Moz bar more is because Moz bar just gives me the information that I need the most, right? So very, very clear cut, right? So very, very clear and straightforward. And while Ahrefs gives me if I want to take a look in terms of getting more details and doing more in-depth research, then I will use Moz bar. Okay, but if you just want to know the page titles, the URL, the meta description, and the H1, just use Moz bar because it gives you that and nothing else, right? Right? It shows you the factors that you need to see straight away. Yeah, so that is all the tools that I personally use, and at this point in time, I might even do good with removing one or two of the extensions. But yeah, so I hope this video helps you out. Let me know what kind of videos do you want to see. Let me know in the comments. Do you find having a lot of SEO extensions makes you distracted? Because I know it did for me. So let me know your thoughts. And yeah, until the next video, I'll see you very soon.